What's happening, tabletop gamers? My name is Luname and welcome back to LeunameGames. Today we're going to learn how to play the 2 to 5 player cooperative card game Hanabi by Antoine Bauza and published by R&R Games. In Hanabi, the players are firework manufacturers set to put off a grand finale, except that they're absent-minded because they accidentally mixed up the powder, the fuses, and the rockets from the display. And now you have to work together to stop the show from becoming a disaster by giving clues as to what everybody is holding so that they can play them all down in the right order. Because everybody actually knows what you have in your hand except you. Let's get to the table and let's see what's in the box. To set up the game, first take this deck of cards that come with the game and remove from it all of these rainbow cards that come with it. This is to help set up if you're playing the standard game. I'll get to what these rainbow cards are later on. So then, you are going to shuffle this deck and deal out a certain number of cards to each player. In the case of a 5-player game that I'm setting up for here, you will deal out 4 cards, but it may be different if you have less players. Then deal the 8 little time markers here into the center of the area, and then take these bomb little tokens here and stack them up so that the explosion is on the bottom and the largest cable is on top. Once you do that, have each player pick up their hand and make sure the backs of their cards are facing them. Everyone needs to make sure that they can see what everybody else has except for themselves. Once you've done all that, you are ready to begin. On your turn, there are 3 different actions that you can do, and you are going to choose one of them. You can either give a clue card to a player, discard a card from the game, or play a card. If you would like to give a clue to someone, what you're going to do is you are going to take one of the clue tokens, put it back in the lid of the box, and then you are going to give one of the other players a clue about what they are holding. For example, let's say I am giving a clue to someone else, and this is their hand. There are only 2 types of clues that you are allowed to give. You can either say a card is a specific number or specific color. For example, if this was your hand and I'm giving a clue to you, I could say these 2 are 1s or these 2 are yellows. That is the only types of clues that you are allowed to give. The second thing you can do is to discard a card. To discard a card, you will basically just pick a card from your hand, discard it face up out of the game, and when you do that, that will allow you to return one of these clue cards, or these clue tokens rather, back to the center pile. The last thing you can do is to play a card. When you play a card, you'll simply choose a card from your hand and play it face up to the playing area. The cards that you play can have one of 3 options done to them. They can either start a new firework, like the one I just did here, they can add to an existing firework, or they can complete a firework. It's important to know that each firework has to start at 1, and they have to go up numerically to 5. You cannot skip any numbers. If you play a card and it doesn't follow any of the rules that I just mentioned, you'll discard that card and remove the top token from the fuse pile. This is to represent the fuse burning shorter and time running out. After you play a card, you draw a new card from the deck and add it to your hand without looking at it. The game ends in one of 3 ways. If the 3rd token gets removed and the blast is revealed, the players lose. If the players manage to make all the fireworks go up to their max values, which means there will be 5 sets of 5, the players win. The game also ends when a player draws the last card from the draw pile. When that happens, each player gets one last turn, including the player who drew the card. Only this time you cannot draw cards during the round. Once that round is complete, the game ends and players can determine a score. All you have to do to figure out the score is add up the largest number for each of the 5 sets of fireworks. There are also a couple variants that you can play that involves these multicolors. The first being that these could act as a 6th suit. So instead of having to get all 5 of the fireworks to go, you now have to get 6 of them. You can also do the scenario where instead of having all of the multicolored cards, you can only have 1 of each type. If you were to play that card, then it does not count as a wild, it counts as and builds as the 6th suit. You can also add the multicolored cards to the game as wild cards. However, when you decide to do that, you cannot call out the multicolored on its own as you are giving a clue. It must be included as another clue. For example, if this was your hand that I was giving a clue to, I would have to say these 2 are white, because this counts as every color, and this is a white one. And that's everything you need to know in order to play Hanabi. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you want to learn my thoughts on Hanabi, or if you want to learn how to play more games, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more tutorials, reviews, and unboxings. Thank you all as always so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.